Greetings from Podcastville. This episode is brought to you by no one because it's not like a real episode. I sort of fucked up the last two real episodes with the sound recording, and yeah, we've come to a bit of a, I don't want to say halt, but things have slowed down here. Life's been pretty busy, so those two episodes were all I managed to get in, and I sort of fucked them up. But I wanted to just do a little bit of recording because those two episodes. I feel like I'm talking to myself. This is sort of like a diary entry, but I'll try to explain to you guys what's going on. I just realized that, did I have the levels? So since we last talked, I recorded two episodes of the podcast with two good friends of mine. First was Alex Bellos. No, second was Alex Bellos. First was Michael Sugarman. I had them on. We talked. The podcasts were, I felt, so much better than the last six or so episodes. I've just gotten a lot better as a host, I think. Purely because I started from such a shit level. But I'm getting there. It's just a shame because I fucked up both audios for both those episodes, so they are now lost episodes. So I'm here to reflect on them while I also implement the lessons that I learned from fucking up said episodes. I've now changed my setup to having the computer monitor right in front of me. I'm using my laptop. I'm not using my PC anymore because my PC is over there. And apparently I can't see properly if it's recording or not. Even though I'm always checking, I'm not actually noticing properly. Because I thought one of them was recording and I must have bumped the mixer. Someone must have bumped the mixer, bumped the table, and stopped recording. Like even right now, I can't really tell if it's recording. But because I have the computer so close to me, I can just scroll over and confirm that it is recording. So that's not going to be a problem anymore. But that means I need the laptop next to me. And man, this is sort of like a hard gig. Harder than I realized. It's not just like pressing a button and leaving it. So many variables. And this is why I haven't really talked about the podcast to many people yet. I haven't been too open with it because there's a lot of shit you need to just sort out when you start something new. And I don't really want to show people the 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 nitty gritty, I guess. I don't want to advertise it. I don't want to be like, hey, check out my shitty podcast. I genuinely believe that I can have a decent podcast by episode 10. That's what I'm going for. I'm doing this episode, half a sort of like a diary entry so that, we can look back at this in a few years and be like, wow, look at where we started, look at all the problems that we had, and look at how far we've come. And the other reason is from fucking up those last two episodes, it became clear that I needed a whole new setup. And I thought I should just practice the setup. I'm home alone. It's 9:53 p.m. on the 3rd of the 9th in the year 2020, and felt a bit motivated, I guess. So I thought, fuck it, let's just test out the new setup before we even book in another guest. I think it's working quite well, but we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. still don't have music for the podcast, but that's cool. We'll get there. Like I said, 10 episodes. We're not there yet. What's been happening, man? I came on. I had like such an energy. I was like, I'm gonna start recording, and I'm gonna like tell no one, because no one's listening except for mum and maybe me if I'm bored and checking out the sound quality. I was gonna just talk about what's been happening with me lately, give a bit of a diary entry, but it literally took a fucking an hour to do the new setup. It's crazy how it's. You think if you just plug everything in and turn shit on, it's gonna work, but it's not how it be. It's taken about an hour to set everything up, and I don't really feel motivated anymore to give the diary entry that I thought I was gonna give, but I'm disciplined enough to just turn the motherfucker on anyway and talk a bit. Nothing too profound, but I'm here. I'm doing what I want to do. Not doing the best job, but that's a step toward doing a good job. Where's the podcast at now? I've had a few friends on. I've had Diego on. I've done two or three episodes with my co-host Laura and Diego, just going over our shit in quarantine. Then I had my friend Costin on, who's just he's up for anything. If I tell him let's go jump off a cliff, he's in. Even if he's not gonna jump off with me and he's just there to tell me to not jump, he'll still be there. So I roped him into it. Mel, Mel's in for anything as well. I asked Mel to act in my short film, and she said yes. So I figured she's gonna come and do a podcast that's way easier than being an actor. After Mel was Michael Sugarman. I just realized that I was getting a bit more relaxed with Mel and Costin. I just felt like I was at that level, and I wanted to bring Michael along to talk about filmmaking, because Michael has essentially been with me since the second not shit thing I've made. The first not shit thing I made, or I guess the first like professional-ish thing that I was semi-half proud of. I did that, and then from then on, Sugarman's pretty much been with me on every project ever that I had like a decent role in. Project that I wasn't just a pair of hands. So I wanted to bring Sugarman along and just sort of break down our journey together in filmmaking. I thought it would be fun as well, because it's Sugarman's a fun guy. He's a fun guy. He's a funny guy. He's into podcasting. He's into all this nerdy shit like me, and I thought he'd be a great. He's a great personality. Like he always finds himself being an extra or like a small role in like every short film that has space for it. He's just got that like persona. So I thought it'd be perfect. I thought he'd be into it, energetic, and also like if I'm like, hey Sugarman, come do this, he'll also say yes. So there's another thing. I thought that was a pretty good episode. We there was a lot of good content. It was a bit more loose. I wasn't the best host, but it was a big improvement over every other episode. But it was the next episode with my friend Alex Bellos that I was like, holy shit, I am a decent host now. I could feel that it wasn't going to be the most comfortable of situations, but Alex was still willing to come. And, it started off a bit awkward, but I fucking, I said what I had to say to make him comfortable. We just talked. And we got a good sort of half hour to to an hour of like in-depth discussion that was also understandable to the average Joe on Alex's profession, which is essentially professional gambling. So that was really interesting. I thought that we were able to break it down for you guys in a way that made it understandable, because I don't know, it's pretty complicated, but I guess Alex broke it down in a very not simple, but sort of bare a way that everyone can understand. And I helped him do that with decent questions, and I paused when we needed to pause, and I focused on things that he may have been brushing over too quickly, and yeah, we got a good solid hour in, and then maybe like another hour of just talking shit, talking about bosses, having shit bosses, being in shit workplaces. Alex was just sort of giving his experience on being a sort of shit kicker in those like shitty jobs that you start out in, which I have a lot of experience in, and hoping to get to a lot of that now as well. Yeah, so the formats are I get other people on and we talk about their jobs, but when 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 that's not happening, what's happening is that I'm getting on with my co-host Lauda, and we're talking about jobs that I have had. The thing is, I don't really see Lauda much because she works nights and I work days. But I recently got fired from my job, so that was pretty cool. I feel quite energized to work on all these projects now, and I also get to see Lauda now because I am free during the day. So I'm hoping to also bring out some episodes with her that are going to be more focused on the jobs I've had, and I've had like 35, I think. So that's quite a bit of episodes. So I'm hoping to start getting into that. It's a crazy, not crazy time, but it's a it's a pivotal moment for me in life right now. I have all the time to do everything I want, and sort of has some money now as well. So yeah, hopefully, no, not hopefully. Like I'm definitely gonna keep up this attitude. It's happening. It's all fucking happening now. Like I can't even. I can't even get distracted by motivation because my favorite podcast, The Church of What's Happening Now, is just finished. So I just feel like the church is over. I feel like I just got to attack the world and do stuff. I can't just sit back and listen to Uncle Joey giving me life advice and motivation and whatnot and funny stories. Just got to go out and do what I want. Tomorrow will be actually 1 week since I've been fired. I've done 1.5 photo shoots. I've applied to a job that looks pretty decent. I'm doing this podcast recording. I went to a comedy club to do stand up. I didn't get to go up, but I still went. I've been working out heaps. I worked out 3 times yesterday. That was tremendous. I've been writing. I've got one article, like a draft article done. Things are going okay. You have this when you fail at something a lot, you sort of stop trusting yourself to do anything but fail. So it's quite refreshing to have failed at working from home for quite a while, and now I don't have a job, and I am working, like this is work. It's just that I wouldn't have trusted myself to get it done before, but I am doing quite a bit now. And that's good. That's very good. Go, Michael. All right. This has been a time machine so that future me and future, paths we took, family can listen to, and sort of just see where we were up to on this day, the 3rd of the 9th, 2020, at 10:04 p.m. Once again, this episode has been brought to you by no one. So, what life lessons can we depart now? Anyone listening? Don't trust yourself to not trust yourself.